How can you tell if someone is secretly against you? You don't, because real opposition is never secret. Opposition always shows up obviously. But here's the problem. Empaths don't struggle because they miss signs. They struggle because they talk themselves out of the signs that they see. We feel something shift, something tightens, something goes quiet, and instead of trusting that information, we start negotiating it. So let's be clear about what this is and what this isn't. This isn't about calling people enemies. This isn't about assuming bad intentions. And it's definitely not about turning suspicion into personality. This is about understanding what happens inside us when something feels off and we don't know what to do with that feeling. Because empaths don't lack awareness. They lack permission. Permission to pause, permission to question, permission not to explain away what our nervous system already noticed. So let's talk about what usually keeps us stuck, because it isn't other people. It's the emotions that step in to manage the moment. They try to protect connection. They try to protect safety. They try to protect hope. And they have been making decisions for us without ever being questioned. So today, instead of guessing who's against you, we're going to listen to what's been guiding you. Because once you hear that clearly, you don't need suspicion. You just need choice. When something shifts in a room, when support feels thinner, when encouragement goes quiet, most empaths don't think envy. They think I'm too much. Maybe I misread. Maybe I'm sensitive. But envy doesn't move in secrecy. It moves in comparison. And when comparison feels threatened, it gets loud in subtle ways. Envy, welcome. Oh, I've been here. You just don't like naming me. Envy. When someone feels threatened by growth, how do you actually operate? Because people act like you hide, but you're not silent, are you? I don't hide. I highlight. I point at what someone else has and whisper, that could have been you. And if the person who it touches doesn't regulate that, they don't say, I feel insecure. They say, who do they think they are? Not, I'm going to take them down. I don't create enemies. I expose ego. And when ego gets exposed, people start minimizing. I see. They get quiet. They get sarcastic. They withdraw support. They stop clapping. But that's not secret, that's obvious. Okay, so when someone suddenly stops celebrating you or subtly competes with you, that's not random energy, that's you. Oh, it's me. But let's be clear, I don't make them sabotage. I just show them the gap where what they see and where they are. And some people would rather shrink you than stretch themselves. So they say little things. Don't change too much. You're doing a lot lately. Must be nice. That's me mixed with pride. When your name is always in their mouth, but it's never to sing praise, they're attempting to gain access externally by gaining information, usually to become better, but not to destroy you. But that only works if you allow them access. Okay. Well, let me translate that. So here's the translation. When someone feels threatened by your expression, they won't always attack you. They'll adjust proximity. They'll lower enthusiasm. They withhold praise. They'll normalize your wins. And empaths? Oh, they feel it. But instead of naming envy, we question ourselves. They soften. We shrink. We over-explain. Not because anyone is secretly against us, but because we're uncomfortable with being the mirror. Envy isn't always the op. It's the exposure. Envy. Thank you. Any last remarks? Actually, yeah. If someone makes your growth feel awkward, don't make yourself smaller to keep them comfortable. I don't ruin relationships. I reveal them. And if your light feels like competition to someone, that's not your shadow. That's theirs. The shadow, huh? Okay. Well. Envy exposes the gap, but jealousy moves differently. Jealousy doesn't just notice what you have, it reacts to it. And here's the part empaths struggle with. Jealousy rarely comes from strangers. It comes from proximity, from people who know your history, from people who knew who you were before the glow up, from people who expected you to stay familiar. Let's welcome jealousy. How you doing? Oh yeah. I stay close. I'm usually around. They act like I'm not around, but I'm usually around. When someone feels jealousy towards an empath, how do you move? Because people act like you're sneaky, but you're not a secret either, are you? I'm not a secret. I'm sensitive. I show up when someone feels replaced or outgrown. I don't whisper from across the room. I tighten energy right beside you. I sound like this. You've changed. You don't call like you used to. I don't sabotage from the shadows. I pull from attachment. And that's why it's uncomfortable. But can you explain a little further? Can you give us like maybe an example of what you're saying? Yeah, sure. Okay. Two best friends, right? One starts evolving, new confidence, new opportunities, new choices. The other says they're proud, but their tone shifts. They joke more, they tease more. They subtly compare. When the empath talks about a win, that friend redirects it. When the empath shines, the friend goes quiet. That's not secret sabotage. That's jealousy adjusting to a loss of a position. Wait, I heard you mention best friend. Yes, girl. If it's your best friend, if it's someone that says they love you, if it's someone who's been there for years, are you telling me that that's jealousy? That's where that comes from? From people closest to you? Well, jealousy comes from someone close to you or familiar. It's the easiest to see, but it's the hardest to accept. Because strangers don't feel like loss. But when a best friend feels threatened, you don't want to call it what it is. So you explain it. They're stressed. They're going through something. I'm being sensitive. But you felt it. The pause, the comparison, the shift. That's true. I don't hide in best friends. The closer it is, the harder it is to accept, but you still see it. I see. That's kind of crazy. So here's the translation. When someone close to you feels jealous, they don't always attack. They recalibrate. They compete quietly. They withdraw celebration and they minimize momentum. And empaths, we feel it immediately, but we talk ourselves out of it, of course. Exactly. Because accepting jealousy in someone we love, oh, that feels like betrayal. But it's not secret sabotage. It's unregulated attachment to your growth. Jealousy. Thank you. That was very enlightening. I mean, do you have anything else to give us? Any other last words or words of encouragement? Yeah. If someone's energy shifts when you rise, don't shrink to restore balance. I don't ruin friendships. I reveal where growth is uneven. And if they can't grow with you, that's not opposition. That's divergence. All right. Well, envy compares and jealousy competes. But hate rejects. Hate doesn't want what you have. Hate doesn't want to be close to you. Hate wants you removed from proximity, from influence, from existence in their psychological space. And here's where empaths get confused. We think everything intense is hate, but it's not. Real hate is rare, but when it's real, it's not foggy, it's not confusing, it's cold and noticeable. Let's welcome hate. Yeah, I'm glad you brought me here because people be saying my name in vain. It's time to get it straight about who I really am. Hate. When someone truly hates another person, how do you operate? Are you loud? Do you sabotage? Or are you sneaky and silent? Yeah, I'm not emotional. I'm directional. I don't get reactive. I get intentional. See, I don't need volume. I need removal. If I'm loud, it's because removal benefits from my noise. And if I'm quiet, it's because removal benefits from my strategy. But I am never confused. I do not fluctuate and I do not soften. My intentions are very clear. Am I always against them? No. But I'm for me, and I could do without them. I could do without that part of myself. Hate is all about separation, not about jealousy or envy or whatever they keep calling my name for. But I'm not those other emotions. You might not see me coming, but you know I'm coming. You bring a lot of energy. So you're saying you're not loud. You can be silent, but you're noticeable. You see hate. You just don't see all the stuff that's happening with it. So let me ask you a question. If someone truly hates you, they're not replaying conversations. They're not feeling conflicted. They're not mixed. Have they chosen separation already? Yes, and here's the part empaths don't like to hear. If someone hates you, you don't feel the confusion about that. You feel the finality. Not encouragement, not softness, no invisible tugs. I give cold containment. I don't hide behind sarcasm. I don't tease. I don't compete. I remove access, support, humanization. And if I choose to escalate, it's because elimination feels justified. But, oh yeah, I'm very obvious. Quiet and obvious. Until I'm loud. Okay. So here's the translation. Most of what you called hate was insecurity, was jealousy, maybe ego or fear. But real hate doesn't confuse you. It doesn't make you replay. It doesn't make you second guess. It makes you feel done. And if you feel confused or foggy, that's not hate. That's misalignment. Hate isn't dramatic. It's decisive. Hate. Thank you. Any last remarks or any final things you want to say? If someone truly hates you, you won't need to investigate. You'll adjust. And here's the uncomfortable truth. I don't grow where boundaries exist. I grow where people tolerate me. If I'm around for a long time, it's because you kept the door open. I don't knock twice. Wow. Thanks for that. Let's break this down. You don't have a secret enemy problem. You have an emotional literacy problem. Most of what you've been calling sabotage wasn't comparison. It was attachment, unregulated insecurity. And the reason it feels mysterious is because you've been trying to decode people instead of observing patterns. Listen carefully. Real opposition doesn't hide. It restricts, it limits, it withdraws access. And the most dangerous thing you can do as an empath is keep giving access to people who've already shown you their ceiling. Not because anyone is evil or a villain or trying to be against you, but because your growth exposes people. And not everyone wants to grow with you. Some people don't hate you. They just can't stand who you're becoming. That's not secret warfare, that's emotional misalignment. You don't need to investigate it. You don't need to respond to it. Stop asking, are they against me? And start asking, does this dynamic expand me or reduce me? That's the real question. And once you answer that honestly, you don't need suspicion. You need standards.